In this lesson, we will continue the conversation by talking about data cubes, late arriving data, and cleaning up data in the HR information system. Let's start with data cubes. Data cubes are a feature in data warehouses. Data warehouses generally pre-aggregate information. This means that the information can be processed efficiently. Data cubes help in doing this. Data cubes are pre-aggregated measures or metrics which are constructed along categorically useful information. So you can have a cube that contains data on employee turnover with all the relevant data on that metric. Or it could include employee absenteeism with employee data, lost productivity, and so on. Data cubes are important because they can process millions of records in a pre-aggregated form. This allows you to efficiently slice and dice your data using software tools that we mentioned previously. Now, how does reporting fit in? Typically, if you are asked to produce an executive report that has a certain metrics that measure progress over time, you need to update the data based on the most recent past month each month. Okay, a lot of organizations, maybe yours included, do that by doing all the manipulation and aggregation manually. Every month you aggregate all of the information and copy and paste it into the proper columns for the most recent month. If you need to visualize this data, you will then take the information out and generate some graphics and line charts, trend charts, and so on. What happens in this scenario is that the organizations limit themselves to just the data changes from last month. The data from previous months that you have pre-aggregated doesn't change, it stays the same. This is more problematic than you might know. Whenever you handle the process manually, you are making the assumption that data from previous months, once it's extracted, doesn't change. This is often not the case. Whenever we create our export at the beginning of a new month, we create a cutoff point. And we do this every month. However, data changes frequently because the data from previous months changes due to what we call late arriving data. We call this late arriving data because it enters the system after we took that extract. If we're not aware of this data, we keep creating reports of inaccurate or incomplete data. If for some reason we have to do a new analysis and extract the same data for the previous period, the data may look quite different. This may cause some panic because we see that the information has changed and we think we gave our executive the wrong information last time. Well, really, what you gave them was the right information. It's just that late arriving data has finally arrived. The concept of late arriving data is not new. Financial statements and data have always had the concept of late arriving data. A lot of HR professionals and HR directors, however, may not know that HR data has the same reality of late arriving data. It's all based on what made it in and what didn't make it in at the time the extract was created. Usually after about 2 or 3 months, the data from previous months finally settles down. Continuous data extracts to the data warehouse will help us keep our data as accurate as possible. Another benefit of data warehousing is that it puts a premium on clean data. In order to pre-aggregate and do what it does, it has to be based on the assumption that the data that's coming in is predictable. A lot of the extract, transform, and load processes, ETL, will get the data into the warehouse in the shape that it needs to be in. This is, in principle, part of the data cleaning process. Only clean and expected values come into the data warehouse to be worked with. If it isn't clean, then the cubes can't construct themselves properly. Now there's another element to data cleaning that relates to data warehousing, and that's what you should be doing once you've cleaned your data. Data needs to be cleaned whether you're putting it into a data warehouse or whether you are just working with an extracted data set. There's an old adage of garbage in, garbage out. You have to have clean data in order for definitive statistical conclusions to occur on what the data is telling you. We often talk about data cleansing in terms of analytics as if this is part of what we do in the processing of data at the analytics stage. However, really what you should be doing is cleaning your data at the original data source. The cleaning of data should always be done in the source system that the information is coming from. Let me explain why. If you don't fix the problem in the source system, the dirty data will come out again the next time you create an extract. However, once you've cleaned the data there, you can rerun your analysis based on clean data. This is really what analytics should be doing in terms of the issue of clean data. In addition, you can fix the problem of dirty data in an even more structural way by talking to the people responsible for putting the data into the source system in the first place. You can also take a look at the system and then redesign it to reduce the propensity of dirty data to come in the first place. That's all for this lesson. You now know what data warehouses and data cubes are, how they can make your life easier, and you've discovered one of the most common misunderstandings about data cleaning in the analytics community. Always remember, you want to fight the cause, not the symptom.